We're taught from childhood that we should be generous and place other people's needs before our own. But has anyone ever warned you that being excessively kind and caring can actually be harmful? We exist in a reality where we don't always receive what we contribute, because it's filled with giving people who witness how their generosity drains them both financially and emotionally. Could being overly kind even threaten our own well-being? Prepare to be shocked by the negative consequences that can occur when you're too kind. Today, I'm going to reveal 8 dangerous things that can happen to you if you're excessively nice, and I'll demonstrate 4 powerful strategies to prevent people from exploiting you. Let's jump into number 1 without any delay. Hashtag problem 1. You'll develop unrealistic expectations. The Stoics taught that we should embrace reality as it exists and not base our happiness on other people's actions. Contributing without demanding too much in return protects you from disappointment and helps you develop emotional detachment, which brings you a more peaceful mind. Whether we realize it or not, it's challenging for us to be completely selfless when we give. When we offer everything we possess, we naturally expect others to reciprocate when we need something important. However, you've conditioned people so thoroughly to having everything handled for them that they'll assume you can manage everything in their lives and yours, especially your own. Because if you're not maintaining your own life, why would you maintain theirs? In truth, your expectations of reciprocity won't be fulfilled, and you'll wind up experiencing bad feelings, exhaustion, frustration, and sadness. Yet, if we examine it objectively, people aren't disappointing you. They're simply doing what you should be doing, which is handling their own responsibilities. The Stoics understood that attachment to outcomes beyond our control creates suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you give excessively, you're attaching your emotional well-being to how others respond. That's surrendering your power. That's creating your own prison of disappointment. The solution isn't to stop giving, it's to give without expectation. Give because it aligns with your values, not because you're keeping score. When you release expectations, you release the suffering that comes when those expectations aren't met. Hashtag problem 2. People will only expect you to give. The Stoics emphasize that genuine value comes from behaving in a manner that is virtuous and rational, not from simply doing whatever others demand. Balance and moderation in giving help you maintain control over your actions and prevent you from developing patterns that damage your mental health. You've heard throughout your life that humans are creatures of habit, and this couldn't be more accurate. People are designed to adapt to a routine, a lifestyle, and a rhythm of circumstances around them. The concept of the comfort zone emerges from this tendency to adjust. This means that if you're constantly giving, the people you assist will anticipate that you'll provide for them all the time. You'll guide them into their comfort zones, and they won't need to fulfill many of their own responsibilities because you'll be available to handle them. If you don't value yourself, nobody is going to look you in the eyes and suggest that you should prioritize yourself more. At least don't anticipate this kind of consideration from the people you help, because they prefer to maintain their own personal helper, which would cost them significantly in their lives. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Before you can help others effectively, you must first establish who you are and what your boundaries are. When you're always available, always giving, always solving everyone's problems, you're not being kind, you're being convenient. There's a massive difference. Kindness is intentional. Convenience is habitual. Kindness comes from strength. Convenience comes from inability to say no." Hashtag problem 3. Your own goals will be ignored. The Stoics stated that it's essential to live by reason and virtue, to establish boundaries, and to prioritize our own responsibilities if we want to maintain balance and not sacrifice our identity and well-being for others. If you place everyone else's needs ahead of your own, you might find yourself escaping from something within you that causes pain and fear. How do you feel when you spend the weekend by yourself or arrive home each day knowing nobody is there to welcome you? If you're engaging in so many activities because you want to avoid yourself, the impact will be doubly harsh. On one hand, you'll have to confront yourself eventually, and on the other, your negative feelings will intensify as you continue prioritizing other people's needs above your own. Self-care is one of the most critical aspects of being healthy. Before you can assist others in feeling better, you need to ensure you're happy, fulfilled, and well cared for. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Yet how can you retreat to your own soul when you're constantly running from it by drowning yourself in other people's needs? The truth is this: you should never offer someone chocolate unless you first genuinely enjoyed one yourself. Similarly, you shouldn't volunteer to clean a friend's home until you've cleaned your own and relaxed with a good movie while enjoying wine. The rest of the world comes after you. This isn't selfishness. This is self-preservation. And without self-preservation, you have nothing to give anyone else. Problem 4. People will view you as weak. Stoicism instructs us to cultivate strength and self-mastery. By establishing limits and practicing self-discipline, we can demonstrate to others that we're committed to our own responsibilities and principles, earning their respect instead of being perceived as weak. If you assist other people excessively, over time you might be regarded as an expert in the field where you collaborate with others. However, you might be creating the exact opposite impression. When you don't set limits, people begin to perceive you as weak. Just like the employee who accommodates a boss so extensively that colleagues will approach you to offload their responsibilities because they know you won't refuse. On the contrary, as soon as you use this powerful word, no, they will begin to experience something toward you they never thought they would: respect. Seneca wrote, "If you wish to be loved, love." But he also understood that love without self-respect becomes doormat behavior, not virtue. When you're too accommodating, people don't respect your kindness, they exploit it. They don't admire your generosity, they depend on it. And dependency breeds contempt, not appreciation. The moment you start saying no, something shifts. People suddenly realize you're not an unlimited resource. You're a person with your own needs, your own limits, your own life. And that realization forces them to respect you. Real respect doesn't come from being endlessly available. It comes from having clear boundaries and maintaining them consistently. Problem 5. You'll attract takers, not givers. Stoicism teaches us the importance of being discerning and wise. By choosing whom to help with self-control and perspective, we can distinguish between genuine people and those who want to exploit, so we don't waste our time or energy on things that don't serve us. People who considered you a good friend suddenly only want to spend time with you when they need something. If you consider it logically, it's not unlikely that this could happen to you, since most people don't invite their employees or colleagues to have coffee with them, let alone a beer. What's happening to you makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's fair. The Stoics understood energy and vibration long before modern psychology. People enter our lives because their energies align with ours. When we vibrate low, when we're depleted, exhausted, running on empty, we attract people who are negative, depressed, who have dark intentions and want to drain us further. When our vibrations are high, when we're balanced, energized, living with purpose, we attract people who are full of positive energy, kindness, enthusiasm, hard work, and joy. Because of this, when we give to everyone indiscriminately, We lose so much energy that we start vibrating at a low frequency. This attracts needy people as well as opportunists who don't even want to reciprocate and only want to extract what they can from us and leave without even expressing gratitude. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Notice he didn't say, "Let others walk all over you while you neglect yourself." The solution is simple but not easy. Become selective. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone has earned your time. Not everyone should have access to your generosity. Give to those who appreciate it. Give to those who reciprocate in their own way. Give to those who would do the same for you. Everyone else? They can learn to handle their own responsibilities. ## Problem 6. You risk developing unhealthy dependencies. The Stoics taught people to be calm and in control of themselves. Self-discipline in giving prevents us from becoming trapped in destructive habits and allows us to maintain a healthy relationship with our actions and choices. When shortage becomes a regular part of our lives, the craving for something increases, which is the perfect recipe for addiction. So one day, someone close to you might observe that you drink too much and not just water. They might also notice that you eat excessively or even gamble too much. Pay close attention to what someone who cares about you says, because your first instinct may be to become angry at them and insist you don't have any problems. But this is how people typically react when they're so caught up in their own issues that they can't see that they have one. Epictetus warned, "No person is free who is not master of himself." When you're giving compulsively, when you can't stop helping even when it's destroying you, when you need to be needed, you're not free. You're addicted. The addiction might not be to substances. It might be to validation, to feeling needed, to avoiding your own life by living everyone else's. But it's still an addiction. Always remember that people who care about you want what's best for you. So pay close attention to what they say because they're trying to help you stop falling and move forward. ## Problem 7. People will become suspicious of you. Stoicism tells us to do good things regardless of what other people think of us. By focusing on living aligned with our beliefs and principles, we build a solid reputation that can withstand false accusations. No matter how much we'd prefer things to be different, the reality is that there aren't that many genuinely kind people in the world. So if you are one, people will be suspicious of you instead of being impressed and grateful. It won't be long before your kindness makes people wonder what's really going on with you and what hidden plans you have that you don't tell anyone about. This could indicate you've encountered a group of cynical people, but it's more probable that they're just being realistic. Most people who want to help excessively are hiding such questionable motives that it's best to maintain distance from them and decline the assistance they offer. Marcus Aurelius faced this constantly. As emperor, every act of kindness was scrutinized. Every generous decision was questioned. People couldn't believe someone with that much power would act virtuously without ulterior motives. The sad truth is that genuine kindness has become so rare that people don't recognize it anymore. They've been burned too many times by those who gave with strings attached. The solution: don't let others' suspicion stop you from being kind, but do let it remind you to be discerning about who receives your kindness. ## Strategy 1. Listen to your feelings. Based on the Stoic principle of self-awareness, pay attention to how you feel. The Stoics thought it was essential to engage in self-reflection to understand your emotions and desires. By paying attention to your feelings, you can determine if you're giving too much and exhausting yourself mentally. This allows you to adjust your focus and find a healthy balance. How does it make you feel to help other people? Thinking about yourself and prioritizing yourself is such a kind thing to do that you should feel like you're walking on air when you do it. So if you feel too busy, exhausted, frustrated, or exploited, it's time to listen to how you feel. If something you don't have to do makes you feel so negative, you shouldn't deceive yourself about it. Instead, discover how the assistance you're providing affects your health. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable, but the mind that ignores present feelings is equally miserable." Your emotions are data. They're telling you something important. When helping others makes you feel drained, resentful, or exhausted, that's not a sign you need to give more. It's a sign you need to give less and take care of yourself more. Listen to that inner voice. It's trying to protect you. Hashtag strategy 2. Don't fear the word no. Following the lessons of the Stoics, you should realize that your time and energy are valuable and need to be used in a balanced way. Self-control can be demonstrated by being able to say no when you feel overwhelmed or when the request is unreasonable. Even though the word no makes us think of negative things and sadness, it's natural for us to find it difficult to say. But if we don't learn to say this word when someone demands more from us than we can provide, pessimism will dominate our lives. Practice in front of the mirror and tell yourself that it's the only way to reclaim your freedom and avoid unnecessary and potential risks. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He had an entire empire making demands on him, yet he wrote, "Learn to ask of all actions, why are they doing that? Starting with your own. Before saying yes to anyone else, ask yourself, why am I saying yes? Is it because this aligns with my values? Or is it because I'm afraid of disappointing them? If it's fear driving your yes, then your answer should be no. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to justify it, explain it, or apologize for it. No protects your energy, your time, and your sanity. Start small. Say no to one thing this week, then another next week. Build the muscle. It gets easier with practice. Hashtag strategy 3. Protect your personal time. Following the Stoic values of self-discipline and self-respect, it's important to dedicate time and space to take care of yourself. Do what you enjoy: exercise, drawing, listening to music while having a cup of tea, or anything else that energizes you. Complete your responsibilities as soon as you can so you can experience this. You should take this very seriously, so seriously that you should schedule this time every day or every week. So if someone asks for your assistance at that time, they need to be very respectful of your boundaries. Without guilt, you tell them no and enjoy that time and space just for yourself. If you don't want to be so direct, you can offer to help at a different time, but make it clear that you will only be able to assist for a limited time because you have other commitments. Epictetus taught, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Your personal time is your wealth. Guard it like treasure. When you schedule time for yourself and protect it fiercely, you're sending a message to yourself and others. I matter. My well-being matters. My needs matter. And when you believe that, others will start believing it too. Hashtag strategy 4. Identify and distance from energy vampires. Following the Stoic principles of self-discipline and wisdom, it's important to recognize which relationships are beneficial for you and which can drain you mentally. By distancing yourself from people who constantly drain your energy and don't contribute anything positive, you're taking care of your own health and demonstrating Stoic self-control in your relationships. You should understand that if you try to help an energy vampire, it won't work. These people overwhelm you with their complaints, their problems, and their catastrophic view of life. Don't bother trying to help them because if their problems were solved, they would have to stop complaining, and that's something they wouldn't tolerate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, Tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He wasn't being pessimistic. He was being prepared. He knew that some people drain energy while others multiply it. And he chose to spend his energy wisely. You have limited energy. Every day you wake up with a full tank, and by night it should be empty. But it should be empty because you spent it on things that matter, not because parasites drained it. Identify who in your life is an energy vampire. Then create distance. You don't need to make a dramatic announcement. Just slowly reduce contact until they're no longer part of your daily life. Your energy is precious. Spend it on people who appreciate it and reciprocate it. In conclusion, according to Stoic wisdom, in life, the best measure for things is always the middle ground, and generosity is no exception. If we give too little, we appear selfish and stingy. If we give excessively, we end up completely drained of energy, time, and probably money as well. So lean toward the balance, which is still the best choice for finding equilibrium between prioritizing other people's needs and prioritizing your own needs. And if you're ever unsure, just remember the magic word, no. The Stoics didn't teach endless self-sacrifice. They taught virtue, which includes self-respect, boundaries, and wisdom about where to direct your energy. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can be generous without being depleted. You can help others without neglecting yourself. That's not selfishness. That's Stoic wisdom. That's balance. That's strength. We've reached the end of this journey, and I sincerely hope these strategies will be of great use to you. Don't forget that you are a crucial part of this community. So if this video has helped you, made you think, or you've learned something, give it a thumbs up so that more people can discover the powers of Stoic wisdom. Subscribe for a daily dose of Stoic wisdom and growth. And remember, being kind is beautiful. Being too kind is dangerous. Find your balance, protect your energy, and never apologize for saying no.